After 3 long years, the internet's favorite power couple, Adam22 and Lena the Plug, have parted ways. We all know Adam22 is like the internet's most famous CUCK. I can't say the word because we're not in that 1 minute part yet. And Lena the Plug is like the internet's favorite BBC enjoyer, right? They've decided to split. And they're arguing with a few things, custody of the child for one, and the fact that apparently this whole time, Lena the Plug, despite probably making millions from like their OF endeavor and the fact that they're both like adult content creators, only makes $3,000 a month, which is basically allowance from Adam22. So definitely an interesting dynamic. Again, a bit of a humongous news for the unemployed, right? We're not talking, some huge creators here. We're talking some real internet globos. Again, Adam22, Lena the Plug. You might know these people. He's from No Jumper, and she is. I know Lena the Plug because she started out as like a YouTuber doing like try-on hauls back in the day. That was ancient times, right? And they've been married since allegedly, what does this say? 2023, right? So it's been 3 years. And they've decided to part ways. Lena the Plug files for divorce from Adam22. Pulling the plug in her marriage, Lena filed the divorce docs in LA County without a lawyer on June 1st, which happens to be her birthday, wants legal and physical custody of their 5-year-old daughter, according to the divorce docs obtained by TMZ. So for Lena's birthday, right, Lena the Plug, she decided to celebrate her birthday with the greatest gift of all, divorcing her husband that looks like a complete crackhead, and they have a child, right? So obviously the child has not been a internet spectacle, which is good. I think if you are in this line of work and you're using your child on your content, whether it be like Instagram or something, you have problems in your head. You might disagree with me, but I think if you were like on one platform, taking it up the keister, and on a like one click away, there's pictures of your children, there's a problem. You should probably not post your children online, period. But the fact that you are like, creating this type of content, OF, and also a successful podcast where you're also like collabing with other adult creators, keep your kids away from that. That's all I have to really say. For those who don't know, the couple has a very successful podcast and OF account, which also makes for a unique relationship where they shoot content with other people outside their marriage, together and individually. Interview those people on their pod, hosts his popular No Pod, and Adam also hosts his popular No Jumper podcast. That being said, in the docs, Lena does say she does not have a job. Her only income is $3,000 monthly spousal support from Adam, which I think is interesting because regardless of like how you feel about like OF content or like, corn and whatnot, you may say it's not a real job. Put it this way, that generates revenue, right? She clocks into work, gets it up the pipe, and then she clocks out of work and there's money coming in, right? So that is technically her job. The fact that she's only getting a like monthly allowance from Adam is interesting because these videos are mutual, right? Like they're both involved in it as well as the other OF creators. So, again, I'm not going to get into the whole like S work is not real work, blah, blah, blah. But I do think that's very unfair. I think that if you are basically the face of this, right? Obviously, this is not a attractive face. This is probably the bread maker, right? Thick woman, attractive face, probably the one bringing in the money, right? She says that they have a $1.1 million entertainment studio and she wants half of that. And this is one of those situations where I think half of Adam22's earnings would be very fair, right? Because again, they are collaborating. They are a part of this, right? Obviously, Adam became successful with No Jumper, and there's like a whole documentary on YouTube about how he like grew to fame and whatnot, and part of companies, and he sold parts of his company, right? He's an old ass man, right? He was a part of the internet before everything was like AI slapified and everybody was able to just start a camera and start yapping like me. He was successful in his own rights. And then, of course, he collaborated with Lena, and they started this like podcast where they interview other adult creators and then they tag team them pretty much, right? So I feel it's only fair that she were to be given like half of this, right? They got married back in 2023. The docs list their date of separation as April 15th on tax day. All right, so here's a good example. Plug Talk, that's the name of their podcast. I'm not going to click it, right? I'll be lucky if this video does not get ad limited from just looking at these people. So this is the kind of like crew, the Avengers level ensemble that Lena and Adam bring in. Again, he looks like a creepy crackhead old man. She's hot. That's disgusting, right? No offense. And Adam22 decided to celebrate this divorce with this post. I'm back on the market. My DMs are open, ladies. So he was quick to go onto Twitter, right? Saying, all black women who want to date me, please DM me. I will buy you a car. So Lena likes BBCs, and it seems like Adam likes BBWs, big black women, or maybe just likes big black booties. I don't know what he likes, right? I thought he liked, Lena, who's like an Arab girl, but I guess he's got a type, black women who want to date me. I'll buy you a car. All right. All black women. Adam doubled down moments later, posting a photo of a wall emblazoned with the word freedom while Jay-Z's Girls, Girls, Girls played in the background. So freedom. So apparently he was the one locked down, right? Not the woman who was only getting a $3,000 allowance despite probably helping him bring in millions a month because of their collaborations. He's the one who's now free, which is interesting. Again, I feel like without money and like success, this guy would not be much of a ladies' man, right? He's not a looker. And again, like the interesting dynamic of this relationship is one of the most controversial things they've done was Lena ended up hooking up with like this adult star dude who was like a black dude, and it was kind of this thing where Adam was a cuck, blah blah blah, but like it kind of comes across as like Adam is really just like a pimp, and he's like her pimp, where he's able to hook up with all these other women alongside her, but he gets most of the money from it. He gives her like a little allowance. And he also probably made like millions with that collaboration with the black dude, right? You have other people like Blueface Baby also wants a piece of the Lena the Plug, which doesn't seem off the table now. Adam22 and Lena the Plug are launching a new reality show. I feel like that will not be happening anymore. I might be wrong there. Adam22 calls out Joe Budden for bashing his marriage. It seems like it wasn't working, right? So it's like huge coat. Antonio Brown wants to screw Lena the Plug. Let me get next, right? So it seems like everybody all along realized that this marriage was weird and that having like this open dynamic of a relationship probably doesn't work. Sure, it might work. There might be some couples out there that are like behind the scenes or doing something behind closed doors and it's working out. They might be swinging, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people probably see a relationship like this where you have a dude who apparently loves a woman and even a kid, and they're hooking up with other people for content, for money. It's not a good way to live, right? Like there's no love involved in that. You're talking pleasure, you're talking entertainment, you're taking pleasure and making it entertainment, and they don't really mix, right? Of course, again, mix in a child, mix in husband and wife. It's not an interesting dynamic and it doesn't last very long. And then you have like the whole cucking thing where people were saying, he was a cuck and apparently she's the cuck. It's a lot happening and it's just kind of funny because again, as much as I like kind of trolled by saying this was like the internet's power couple, it's kind of true. Like they make a lot of money. You're bound to have seen their clips. You know who No Jumper is and Adam22 is. Lena the Plug. They're one of those couples where you hate them, but you see them, right? They're like the Kardashians of OF. And that seems to have come to an end. And I want to know what you guys think down below. Silly video, but it has been a very, very, very slow month. Last month was slow. This month's already off to kind of a slow start. I've just been kind of living my life. I want to know what you guys have been up to in life, and let me know what you think about this situation. As always, though, thank you for watching. Peace.